Hey guys, welcome to the second episode of my little series. This week we're going to look at the disco beat, specifically this one. The three drum parts I've chosen for this video are all developments of this drum beat and examples of how versatile this beat is. The parts I've chosen are Do It All the Time by I Don't Know How But They Found Me, Somebody Told Me by The Killers, and my personal favourite of the three, Got the Life by Korn. Now before we get into the breakdown, I'm going to tell you a bit about this beat, so skip ahead to the timestamp on screen if you just want to learn some drums. So without further ado, let's get started. The disco beat is characterised by a snare on 2 on 4, accompanied by a pulsing kick drum on all 4 beats of the bar, which is often referred to as 4 on the floor. The drummer credited with popularising this type of drumming style is Earl Young. The record The Love I Lost by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes is credited as the record that really brought this drumming style to light. As the kick and snare pattern is very, samey, the hi-hat pattern could really change the way this groove feels. Now the whole point of this type of groove is to get people moving. It's a disco style, you want to make people dance, so keep that in mind while playing these beats. The first track we're going to look at today is Do It All the Time by I Don't Know How But They Found Me. The tempo is around 110 beats per minute and the drummer is Ryan Seaman. The section that I've chosen to look at is the first 14 bars of the song. Here's how this sounds. So to play this, we come in on beat 4 of the second bar with a closed hi-hat on beat 4 and an open hat on the and of 4. We close the hi-hat on beat 1 of the next bar and it remains closed for the remainder of this section. After this little pickup, we go into our main groove, which doesn't really change too much. We've got the 4 on the floor disco beat with a closed hi-hat on the and of every beat. This pattern remains the same until the and of beat 3 of the second bar, where we have this descending tom pattern which sounds like this. What I've got here is a high tom on the and of beat 3, snare on beat 4, and 2 floor tom hits on the final 2 semiquavers of the bar, so it's on the and-er of 4. This 2-bar groove pattern is the same throughout the section, however on the 4th and 13th bar of the groove, you're just playing a kick on beat 1 and that's it for those bars, so there's little pauses. The second track we're going to look at is Got the Life by Korn, played by David Silvera. Here's how this one sounds. This one is a little bit more pacey, around the 130 beats per minute mark. If you're struggling with the speed, start slower, gradually increase that tempo as you get more comfortable. We come in on beat 4 of the first bar with a flam on the snare, and then we go into our groove on beat 1 of the first bar with a crash. Again, sticking with that disco theme, we have a 4 on the floor kick going with a snare and 2 on 4. We also have an open hi-hat on the and of every beat. There's a crash on beat 1 of almost every 2 bars. If you're unsure of where to put these, follow along with my demos. The first variation we come across in this groove is on the 4th bar of groove, where we have this little pre-snare, I guess, before beat 4 on the of 3, so we're going 3 and . After this variation, the groove continues through another 3 bars, and then we have a fill on the 8th bar of groove, which sounds like this. For this, the counting is 1 and a 2 and, 3 and a 4 and. It's all on the snare with a flam on beat 1 with kicks on all 4 beats. In the following bar, we have a little groove variation where we have the snare, kick and crash in unison on beats 1, 2 and 4. This bar sounds like this. We then have 6 more bars of groove, and then we have a fill which marks the end of this section. The fill starts on the and of beat 2, and we play semi-quavers until the and of beat 4. The pattern we play is an open hi-hat followed by 3 snare hits. This repeats itself twice, and then we have a final open hi-hat on the and of beat 4, which marks the end of the fill. The final part we're looking at today is the chorus of Somebody Told Me by The Killers, played by Ronnie Vannucci. Is that how you pronounce it? Somebody please tell me. This one's a little quicker again, at around the 138 to 140 beats per minute range, so as always, if you're struggling with the speed, slow it down and then slowly work your way up. If you hadn't guessed it already, we've got a 4 on the floor beat with a snare on beats 2 and 4, with an open hi-hat on the and of pretty much every beat. However, there are some nice little variations to this groove that we're going to look at. The first is in bars 1, 2, 5, 6 and 7, there is a kick on the and of beat 4. The second is a hi-hat variation on bars 2 and 6, here's how this bar sounds. What we're playing here is a closed hi-hat on the E of beats 3 and 4, and then an open hi-hat on the and of beats 3 and 4 as normal, so we've kind of got a lead in to the offbeat. The second variation is on the 4th bar of the chorus where we have some stabs. Here's how this sounds. What we've got here is 2 snare hits starting on the and of beat 3 and then 1 on beat 4, with an open hi-hat accompanying them. Then there is an extra open hi-hat on the and of 4. Finally, on the 8th bar of the phrase, we have a kick, snare and floor tom on beat 1 to end the chorus. Thank you so much for watching, I'll see you next time.